Every Monday at this time, just after the 11 o'clock news on the Elias Macko Show, we take a look at how much common goods and services should cost. On this week's edition of the segment, we take a look at Halloween. How much should Halloween cost? Whether it's for the costumes or for the chocolate and candy and other goodies you've got to get for the kids. Now, a poll from Leger last year showed that parents spend about $120 a year on Halloween. Average Canadian spends about $60. And, of course, the costs are rising. They say the cost of chocolate and candy up about 10 to 20% more than compared to last year. Let's go to Jenna Morton now, a mother of three and creator of the blog Pickle Planet Moncton. Jenna, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I know you focus on the stuff about families, right? And
Yes.
trying to make sure families in Moncton know what the skinny is on great ways to celebrate, whether it's Halloween or other events. So, Jenna, let's talk about Halloween. You got three kids. How do you approach it? Because I don't think anyone wants to break the bank, but you got to, it is something where there are expectations.
There are definitely expectations, and I would say that's the biggest part. If you can figure out how to manage your expectations and your kids' expectations, you're going to come out of this with a little less worry and maybe a little bit more left in the bank. And that really starts young, right? You really do have to plan, and you have to put some effort into it. Because if you let yourself get caught up and you just have that like, oh, I see this thing and I need to buy it, the impulse, you're easily going to blow past that $120 nowadays.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I've got an almost 2-year-old at home, okay, who is absolutely cuckoo bananas bonkers about Elmo and Sesame Street, right? And he, Elmo. But so we've decided as a family, because it's still one of those years where we can do like family costumes. We're going to be doing Sesame Street. But I looked into, okay, let's buy the official costumes.
Oh.
It's expensive, right?
Oh, you could make a car payment, I'm sure, buying 3 licensed costumes, 2 adult, 1 child, you will break the bank.
But there is a better way, right?
Oh, my goodness. You can have so much fun. Family costumes are my jam. So we are a family of 5, and we did costumes as a group for a good solid 10 years, right up until the pandemic really was, group costumes were our thing. Now my kids are a little bit older. It's a little bit harder to do family group costumes because they're doing group costumes with their friends. Mm-hmm. But for me, the big way to save money on that is to kind of focus on, one item or a color scheme, with something like Elmo. Well, if you can find a good Elmo mask and then just red clothing, well, there you've done Elmo without paying for that full costume. And especially when kids are little, just having that one element, that's often enough for them to recognize, oh, this is what we're doing. When my kids were little, they loved PJ Masks. That was, and I have to say, I enjoyed the show too. So we did PJ Masks as a family. I did not buy one piece of licensed thing for that. Uh-huh. I bought felt from the dollar store and, toques to make masks. Little kids have great imaginations. Play into that. Don't feel like you have to buy the licensed thing to get the look you're going for. And you don't have to be a seamstress to do a homemade costume. Anyone who knows me will tell you I cannot sew to save my life. I use hem tape, felt, fabric scraps. You can do a lot with a little.
So, Jen, I think you'll be very proud of my wife, okay? Because here's what she's done for Elmo, okay? She went to the dollar store. She bought a toque, right? One of these cheap toques that you can get at the dollar store. And then she bought a few bags of these red pom-poms, right? These tiny pom-poms. And she got a glue gun. And she put the pom-poms, all the red pom-poms on this toque. And then you get a couple of large white pom-poms for the eyes and an orange one for the nose. Boom, you've got your Elmo.
Exactly. And then you've had fun creating it. I hope she had fun creating it. I know I used to have a lot of fun doing that. If you find yourself not having fun doing it, maybe rethink it. But if you can have fun doing it, and especially as your little one gets older, if they can be involved in the process, then it's making memories. It's time spent together. It's about the experience. And even now, mine are getting into their teenage years now. And it's still that same vibe, though. We went shopping the other day. My daughter's going as the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland.
Ah.
Well, all she did was buy 4 decks of cards at a dollar store. And then she came home, got out the glue gun, and created a crown. And, you don't need to overthink it. And then you can see that, the joy of creating something and showing it off is so fun and rewarding.
And I got to tell you, I already have my blue hoodie that will be repurposed as I turn into Cookie Monster. I'm Cookie Monster for Halloween. So you got to use the things that are in your closet. Okay.
Exactly.
Let's just, on the costume front, any other tips you have on the costumes? Like, in my mind, like the secondhand stores, that kind of stuff. I think you could find great items there instead of paying for like a licensed costume.
Exactly. If you are looking for something like that, start a little bit early. Start looking at the thrift stores, consignment sales, buy nothing groups on Facebook. Just put the word out there. If you're looking for something, let people know. You don't know what your neighbor has in their closet that they might be willing to lend you or give to you. There's lots of ways to get around, not having that creative vibe and also not spending too much money. And, when your kids are still little, if you're willing to kind of take the reins and say, no, you can't just be whoever you want, you're going to be who I decide, watch the sales starting kind of around now. As we get close to Halloween, costumes that are in the stores will start to go down a little bit. And then for the 2 or 3 days after Halloween, you can usually find some things on sale, especially in the little sizes. And, kids can play dress up all year round.
Yeah.
Exactly. You find a couple decent costumes on sale after Halloween, you're golden.
We're with Jenna Morton. We're talking about Halloween and how to save a few bucks as you celebrate Halloween this year. So, Jenna, let's talk about the candy. The chocolate. Man, some of these boxes are so expensive right now. 50 treats, $20. I'm like, what? How do you manage that, the treats side of things?
That one is the trickier thing to really save money on, I have to say. I think you really need to be smart in your planning or you're going to get caught up spending money here. So think about it in terms of the unit price. So like you just said, when you look at that box or you see a box that's on sale and you're like, oh, it's on sale, it must be a good deal. Stop and do the math. How many pieces are in there? How much are you paying for it? Is that actually a good deal? From what I'm seeing this year, if you can find something that's going to cost you about 15 to 20 cents per, little chocolate bar, that's a pretty good deal right now. And then think about, how many kids are coming to your house and how many pieces do you want to give out? Are you okay with giving out 2 little things? And that's going to cost you a lot less than if you give out 3 or 4. And so you may just have to kind of adjust a little bit. Don't just be putting your hand in and throwing a whole handful into, the bags that are put in front of you on Halloween night if you're really trying to watch how much you're spending. Because if, say you've got, maybe 100 kids going to come to your house and you can find things where it's going to cost you about 20 cents an item, then you can maybe, make it so that you get away without spending more than $30, $40 if you're lucky. And I would say mix it up too. So if you're, chocolate's going to be on your higher end, as are things like, cans of pop or juice boxes or, that kind of thing. If you can mix it up, do something that's a little bit less. So your lollipops, your hard candies, those kind of things, you can usually find the bigger bulk bags. You might be able to get something that's more like 10 cents a unit. Pair that with something that's a little bit more. So you are still giving out a couple things, but they're at different price points when you buy them. So that, if you can keep it under, I would say $40 if you're expecting, under 100 kids, you're doing pretty good.
Jenna, we're going to have to leave it there. Thanks for talking Halloween, and I wish you a happy Halloween.
I do too. I hope I get to see pictures of you dressed up as Cookie Monster.
Yes, indeed. And me love cookies, as I often say on the show. Jenna, be well. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Jenna Morton right there. She's a mother of 3 and creator of the blog Pickle Planet Moncton.
Hello, Canada.
This is Bryan Adams Radio.
Hosted by Bryan Adams himself.
We'll play a few of mine, a ton of my favorites, and some must-hear behind-the-scenes stories from the world of rock and roll.
We're coming to get you!
One thing about doing rock and roll so long is you end up meeting a lot of the people that you admire. Sometimes you even get to work with them.
It's only love, and that's all.
Bryan Adams Radio.
I'm coming back to you.
Now available on the free iHeartRadio app.
Everybody,